That's better. Okay. So, welcome. Namaste. Greetings. Thursday night again. And Thursdays is an evening of insights and meditation. And our subject today is belief. So there's a lot of power to believe, and it's one power that we are not so conscious about. And because most of our beliefs also seem to be unconscious. So we'll kind of go into the insights as to what belief is, and then towards the end we will do a great meditation, because the power of belief is such that if your belief is conscious and if it's working for you, you can actually design your life, you can be the architect of your life, the master of your destiny. But if it is unconscious and it's not working, the disbelief also, because if you have one belief, that means there's a disbelief. You have to have, right? But that disbelief, if we're not conscious about, it can totally bring us down. So everything you do, all the efforts you're putting into life, into yourself, all that brilliance, we can create more obstacles and hurdles and obstruction. So if we are not conscious, so such is the power of belief. So what is belief? So belief, we can say, is that intricate, almost like that weave or that fine thread of consciousness that doesn't just weave in and out of the worlds, that doesn't take us, help us build worlds, but it helps us build experiences. And experiences are the foundation of everything. Also, humanity. It's all about experiences. Relationships are about experiences. Relationship to nature, about experiences. So it is that fabric, that conscious fabric, that actually helps us build everything. Now, what we cannot believe, we don't see. So in simple words, we don't realize this power, that if you don't believe in that it exists, then to you, you're blind to that existence. So that means that if you don't believe there is goodness, then you will never be able to see goodness. If you don't believe that there is the opposite of goodness, then also you will not be able to witness that. If you don't believe there is trust, you will not be able to experience trust. So belief, in some sense, in a very powerful, insightful sense, is our ears, is our tongue, how we create, is all the senses, our eyes, because when we can see it, we can create. And beliefs makes us see that, touch that, feel that, and build an experience from that. So that is the power of belief. But it's also very interesting that as much as belief is a mental habit of the mind, right? It can become a knowing if you're conscious. So for me to say that I believe I will do well means that I think I will do well. I believe, I'm hoping I will do well, versus I know I will do well, I know myself. So you see the knowing. When it comes, it transforms into a knowing through your conscious state. It becomes a knowing. Then it is no longer I think it is, because now you have direct experience. So ultimately what works for you is a knowing. Belief is still a little wishy-washy. So because it's a mental act, but knowing becomes your direct experience and you embody it. Does it make sense? So it's really interesting about belief. If it hasn't become a knowing, then somewhere you will not be able to cash in and leverage from that belief, because you could still doubt it, right? So another thing, it's really interesting that how beliefs become knowing. Today we will look at that. We'll talk about some of the beliefs, because that is basically our job. To take a belief, something we're not certain about, or maybe we have an idea about. What are beliefs? How are beliefs taught? It certainly doesn't come from divine consciousness. It doesn't come from God. So if you can imagine, as most of the people do, Mr. God or Mrs. God, whatever that power is, sitting and creating first few humans, okay? Whatever, he, she, whatever it is, creating first few humans. So imagine a conversation, something like that, that lets make this human totally full of everything, self-sustaining, self-preserving, with all the powers, so they don't need to come to the source ever. They can be the source for others. Because humans create humans, right? All are created. All are created from parents. It's humans. So we needed to have this power. So we need the power of the senses. We need the intuitiveness. We need all the skills. We need all the abilities. So we can say he or she, God, placed everything into these first few beings, or they came with these powers. Now, how much they explored, how much they became unconscious of, was a story that happened later. But every human has this power. They have the power to access intuition. They have the power to access intelligence. They have the power to build experiences. They have also the power to destroy what is no longer needed. So what do we do in the process of creation? We create, we preserve our creation. Then when we no longer need it, we destroy that ourselves. Nobody else comes to destroy it. We are the destroyers also. So these aspects of creation, we're masters of these three aspects. We all know the same thing, right? Some remember, some don't. So the beliefs don't come from here, but beliefs come from parents. They come from elders. They come from caretakers. They come from teachers later, your guides, and books. So beliefs are taught and borrowed. But the power of belief, the deception in belief is such, when you start to believe something, most of the people never question it. They don't question. They don't remember that it was borrowed, that they took it from somewhere. They think that it is their power. They believe it's true. So they never go to a place that there was a time in my life I didn't have this belief. They think they were born with this belief. Yeah? That's a fallacy. That's false. We were not born with these beliefs. Somewhere we were fed, like we were fed breast milk or food or cereals and other food. We were fed. This was food for the mind, and it is a habit of the mind. And we became believers of a belief. So much so, somewhere, the belief became the master, we the slave. It drives us. Look at it when you come to religion or beliefs. Look at it when you come to morality. Look at it when you come to sexuality. How hardcore beliefs we have, right? The fight in the world is based on beliefs. If you believe in a certain God, and you listen, and your whole life is lived in that type of consciousness, and then there's others, and then there's others. So there's going to be problems, because what if your God is a dangerous God who's nobody's ever seen? What if your God is not one God of compassion, right? Because these also are created by humans. So in this day and world, 2017, we really need to examine our beliefs, because we can't just wear them like clothes, like lipstick, and then take it off. Yes, you can change beliefs because they're of habits of the mind, and anything that's a mental habit, you can change. You can change beliefs. People they're not even aware that they can change beliefs. It's hard to change a belief because, first of all, we don't believe that we believe it's us. I am this, and this is me, right? It's integrated so much into the psyche that there's no separation. So if you feel insulted because of argument or some type of, you did not see eye to eye, it's not that you were hurt. Your belief system was hurt. So you are hurt or angry or whatever. So it's something you believed in that people don't find either clash with or don't find appetizing. Now our world of friends is according to a belief. Those who support your belief, those who validate your belief are your friends. Even in the family, you will have friends who support your belief. Otherwise, the rest of the world you don't really care for because they're not like you. Right? So how many friends do we each have that support? Maybe only a handful. Even they can change their beliefs about things, right? So if you look at the power of belief and something that you could so easily change, a mental habit, we actually will not change it because we don't examine it. We are not conscious of them. So unconsciously, blindfoldedly, we are living these beliefs as me, my identity. I believe this, so this is true. And everybody believes they know the truth. And that's another belief which is quite interesting because I know the truth. Now the thing is, all your experiences are based on what you believed. You only attracted everything in your life as per what you believed in.
Wouldn't you say that belief is connected to the ego because it's all about what's made up in the mind, whereas knowing is true spirit?
Yeah, it may not be, we can call it ego, but it is just another habit of the mind. And that's how we all start to learn. In the beginning, we don't know that that is the sun, this is the moon, that's the fire. Fire burns, yes.
How we explain it to each other.
Yeah. So
we
believe.
don't know it until we really
Exactly, till we experience it.
Yeah.
So they have a role in the beginning. When we are children, we can govern our lives according to beliefs, right? Mm-hmm. So, but when we get into adulthood, there's a time when you have to examine. You're not going to wear the clothes that your mother bought for you or grandmother bought for you when you're older, are you? Because they don't fit. You're not going to wear those shoes. You're not. So beliefs are like clothes. If you don't fit into them, then how can you fit into a belief pattern? It was okay then because they did their best, and they did their best according to the society and the culture. That's all. So if your father had one wife, well, one wife was good. Two would not be. It would be evil or not so good. Mother had few lovers. Well, having lovers is not so bad. So it doesn't matter. Eating habits, living habits, thinking habits, basically these were beliefs. So it's earlier on in the game they have a role when we are young. But when we get to adulthood, we cannot actually just live with blind beliefs because they will hurt us. Because if you believe that the world is flat, then you will only be with those people. You will act according to the world is flat. You will not go closer to the surface that you may fall. It's just an example, right? And then everybody who believes the world is round is not your friend. And you will not be in relationships with them. You will not be able to learn from them. You will not be able to eat with them. You will not, because it's a whole alien race now. You've alienated everything because you are together in disbelief. So there's an opposition right away, right? Now, human life is, what is this about? Like we've got all the gifts to build experiences, to create experiences, then to destroy experiences, right? That's all it is. But the belief that I need to be like this, my life should be like that, this is how people need to treat me, right? This is who I am. All of that is belief and has no basis at all because it's unexamined. And now people destroy themselves, destroy their lives because of unexamined beliefs. Because this should have happened, that should have happened, this didn't happen, so my life is a mess. I'm a failure, right? Regret, guilt, shame, blame, all of them come from unexamined beliefs. Now we keep talking about them, but people can't get rid of beliefs because they cannot imagine that they're not their belief system. We are not programmed human beings, you know. We have basically hardware, which is the body, the energy. Then we have software, which is the mind, programming, right? We can change the software anytime. We can also upgrade our hardware according to the times. 2017, you should really have some renewable, very good hardware. Because if your body energy is not in tune, your messages from your intuitive self will be very mixed up and confusing and conflicting, right? So this is the power of belief when we come to it. If you look at your lives, if you're feeling miserable, unhappy, you can actually say, what is the belief? What is my belief that is making me unhappy? And you will see, you will repeat it. You will repeat the words, that because I think this should be. Now, if you go further and examine that who told you this should be? Where did you first time hear this? You can try and trace that. And the minute you realize that you are a clean slate of consciousness, you can change behavior patterns, you can change beliefs, you can see that the belief is not me. It is facilitating my life, but it is not me. I have the power to switch it, or drop it, or pick up another one, or to be without it. When you get to the knowing level, you don't need a strong belief system, right? So, does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. This is such an important subject, and it's the cause of misery and cause of unhappiness and a lot of people believe, then they start to believe that in fate and destiny, and God didn't give it to me, and all of this. So it's very interesting. I'm sure if there's a God in person somewhere, he or she, I would call it, probably thought that let me just one-time job, give the human being everything so they never come back, right? Job done. So everything was delivered at one go. It's not like you keep coming back. But why do humans keep going back? For more. More strength, more love, because more things, more, right? Because somehow they're still living off some belief system that they inherited. They never developed the power of knowing. Because they didn't develop the power of knowing, they don't know how to really create with inner knowledge or self-knowledge or knowledge of the universe also. So they don't know the rules of the game. So we've been playing without rules as such. Commandments are not the rules. Like, don't hurt your neighbor. Oh, great. Yeah. I'll share that with you, that how it can never work. So it's a setup. It's a big setup, So this whole religious teaching at some level, I don't know how it started, but how it was interpreted, it doesn't make sense now. Because if you have a different God, I may not listen to your teachers. If the God doesn't look like my God, then I'm not listening because I don't trust that, right? Now, how do we become godless? For that, we may have to become headless because it's in us, right? So you have to destroy yourself to, and people actually don't know how to live with themselves unless they can anchor themselves on something outside, because this is one of the beliefs that was very early. The power is not in you. You're born of sin. You're born less. You're going to have to pray and behave in this way to access the power and access all the rewards in life, right? So our behavior was actually structured on a belief system that also doesn't make sense in 2017. So this is why we will get into it deeper. Now, 3 beliefs that totally changed my life. Totally changed. I didn't come in this package where I evolved through my own experiences, because I always, right from up the beginning, Maybe because I was the fourth daughter, I was not really accepted, like really welcomed with, bells and whistles. I thought that, okay, these guys don't know me. Why don't I get to know myself? Maybe that was the journey. So I became more introvert and more driven by my inner, just examining myself. Who am I? Very early in life. So I started to discover these processes and techniques that would enlighten me to life, humanity, nature, and myself. Right? So this was all work on my part because that's what I wanted to do, because I didn't fit. So it was probably easier for me to go inside and do this work. So 3 beliefs that actually altered my life and totally changed it, almost put me in a superpower position, were one of them, you all look so eager. One of them is that every situation and every person in my life, wherever I may be, is meant to be there. Imagine that. That level of I'm not saying accept. I'm not talking about accept, live with, put up with every situation, be brave, be bold. I'm not talking about a compromise. I'm talking about the power of knowing that every situation, every person, everything that is happening to me, however I may describe it or feel about it, is there for good reason, to benefit me. But I will not know how. So what do? There's a second step to it. I will take action. I know that it is for my benefit. I don't understand it. So I will go within first to upgrade my hardware to understand it, and then I'm going to deal with the situation head on with my full mind and my sense of power. So the first, now think about this. Imagine this. People who don't have this, and this is a very factual belief because every situation is there to benefit us. Now we say it, right? It's a great language. We've read about it in New Age. Yeah, everything is for a reason. It's a lesson. But what did you learn? For that, you have to go inside. You have to do 2 things. You have to connect deeper. So meditation is the only way. You are not going to be able to get there unless your focus is internal, right? So when system of yoga was developed, first step of yoga is the hatha yoga. You stretch. They didn't want to make you better cats and dogs because they stretch really well. That was not the purpose of hatha yoga. Hatha yoga was so you can start to expand your energy, experience your energy, and have a very flexible body. Now you can tune into the mind a lot more, right? So if you look at it, the systems were built like that. Now we come into, so the 2 steps are that when you believe, how many of you believe here that every situation, every person is there to benefit you? Yeah? Okay. But do you really live your life? You should not have the pain then of why am I here? What is happening? I should have done that. I have regret. You should not have these questions. If your faith is strong, if your knowing is strong, then why do you become like a loose leaf in autumn? Flying all over the place. Why? Why do you become homeless in your consciousness then? Yeah? So it's not good enough to say, yes, you have to examine when you go home. You must listen to this video again if you need to actually examine. Because if your first basics, that first level, is not cemented and you don't know what to do with each experience, what lesson will you learn? For that, you have to go inside, right? So tune in, access more intuition, access more intelligence, more awareness, more energy. You upgrade your hardware. Then you upgrade, then you start to deal with the situation full on. Because if there's any lessons left, angles you did not look at, you can look at them, right? Do you need to be stronger? Do you need to be aware? Do you need to be more lovable? Do you need to whatever you need to do. You have to deal with the situation. Only when you deal with the situation with insight, you have now mastered that first level. Now you will never, ever have, imagine the downside of this, right? First of all, we don't believe. Half the world, or more than half, the 90% of the world we don't like. Right? Okay. We are scared of situations. We're scared of people. You won't have that. If your first belief, actually that knowing is in place, you won't have that. You won't fear. You will not have competition. You will believe that every person is a friend. You may not remember them from, that's all. You will welcome every situation, every person in your life. Everything. You will welcome your pain. You will welcome the cancer. You will welcome the hurt. You will welcome the other things. Everything becomes like celebration. Right? Look at that power. So you can actually do this exercise and write down this first belief. Every situation and every person is there to benefit me. So if that's not in place, we've opened ourselves to a lot of hurt and suffering. You can take care, you can change the belief to what I said, and you will, I promise you, you will not suffer. You can't suffer. You may have pain, but you will not suffer. It's amazing, right?
Our feelings are the key, though, to telling us if our belief fits us or not, though, right?
Feelings can be manipulated.
Because if I make that statement,
yes,
right?
Yes.
And I have a reaction that doesn't fit that, right?
Okay.
Then I know that's where I need to do.
Then you may have resistance, and you will recognize the resistance.
Yeah.
But more than feelings, you can look at your life. You can look at your language. What are you saying all day to yourself?
Yeah.
More than feelings. Feelings are a bit deceptive. But ask your near dear, what do they think of you? How are you? Are you positive? Are you negative? Are you stressed? Best is your friends and family, because they mirror you the best. They won't lie. They'll tell you because they're waiting for an opportunity to tell you. Yeah. We dread them because they will speak the truth.
It was like my nephew once said to me, he said, well, you hate people. And I was like, I love people. He's like, it doesn't sound like it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
Ask young people.
ask young people. They will be very honest. Yeah. Okay, otherwise, your self-analysis is the poorest tool you'll ever have unless you've developed yourself. Self-reflection in small doses is worse. It's a distorted feeling, totally. We'll do that maybe next week. I'll show you how actually is more annoying and draining than there's no benefit to small little awareness, small little self-reflection. Either you go all the way or you become delusional with little bit, because you can't see the truth. You just see the surface level and you think you know, right? So when, you're reading a book and it's really interesting and maybe it's a book, something you can learn. You get to a line that, oh, I know this. You skip the next few paragraphs that I know this already, right? You won't go deeper into it. People will do that with my video too. They'll say, I know this. We've heard this before. Okay, pass on. Next, another 5 minutes later, what did she say? So you never go into depth because you think you know. You got it, right? That's the deception, yeah. So coming to the second level, does that make sense, the first level? Okay. I will bring it up in meditation when you're in a deeper state to build this into your psyche, so it'll help you. Yeah, you will not forget, yeah. So second level, second life-altering belief that actually totally again shifted my whole perspective, and everything else was that I am a lot bigger than me. And I am connected to everything. Now, it's not information, it's not science, it's not religion, I could experience the connection. Especially because I always knew what people were saying. And I thought, do I have psychic ability? Am I clairvoyant, all of this? Then I realized, no, maybe those are just words. I have into people. I can experience everything they are because maybe it's just one soul. They're part of me. So I can see it in me. I can see themselves in me. I can see everyone in me, right? So that was maybe because also deep meditation and doing the first part of the homework. When I'd done the first part, the action plan with it, I got deeper. I was ready for more. So not am I only connected to all humanity, all nature, all animals, water, air. I'm made from elements, but I'm connected to all the worlds that I can see and that are still unseen. So I am connected to the earth, the moon, the galaxies, Pluto and Venus and everything. That's why I never believed in astrology. Not believed, but I thought it's a kid's game. Why do you want to know when the planets are like in your hands, you play them like balls. What are you scared of? It's like little balls you throw and catch and throw and catch. Why are we scared of these planets? Why do I have to change my life because of those planets, What am I? So that was that sense of knowing and trust and confidence that no matter what world out there, I may not have physically seen it, but I'm totally connected. Because I'm connected, that means that no matter what I do, I'm creating an impact in all the universes at the same time. So if I'm laughing, I'm bringing possibly a smile to a child's face, to a sick woman, to an old man who's dying. When I'm angry, I'm creating the wave of anger in something else. I'm creating maybe electricity, maybe a thunderstorm, maybe a cloud somewhere. That was my sense of knowing that with my thought, with my action, and with my feeling and behavior, I could create an impact on worlds and worlds and worlds and worlds. So what did that do? That made me self-governing and responsible. I took responsibility of every thought. I took responsibility of my feelings. I took responsibility. I didn't have that privilege of just spitting in air my feelings, throwing up whenever I wanted, having tantrums whenever I wanted, because I knew that whatever I throw up will land on somebody else. Every time I give my opinion, I am creating some kind of showering it upon the universe, and it's going to impact something. So it's not just about me. I knew this. And I knew it because I could go inside and experience these worlds, and I got proof after proof after proof that, that this is reality. So this became factual for me, and it made me really responsible for everything I do, I say. Also, I don't tolerate other people spitting also. It's not that it just gave me control over myself. In my sphere, I don't tolerate abuse of that kind. There's this inner, it's not a judge, but a justice system built in. What you don't do yourself, you may not tolerate from others also, right? So, but this comes because, and people started to listen to me. It was like having a superpower. It's amazing how these simple things put you in a position of superpower. People start to listen because they don't have that sense of control over them. Because they haven't positioned themselves or placed themselves in this big impact world. They're still thinking I'm this lonely person being, just like a loose leaf in autumn, like I say. Just situation, throw me here, situation, throw me here. And they're scared of death. And they're tremendously scared of sickness. Because who will be there for me? And what will happen afterwards? They're scared of darkness. They're scared of the unknown. They want to change, but they don't want to change because it's fear, 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 right? So, does it make sense? So we saw the downside. A person who actually have not experienced, now the science tells us we are connected. What more do we need? Even the scientists got there. What mystics said ages ago. Science also is saying, how much can we deny that our thought, our smile, our every word is impacting the world? How much can we deny it, right? So imagine a life where you have this self-governance, right? And then this freedom to actually totally be yourself. So think about it, listen to it again. One thing nice about Facebook is it has Facebook Live, so we're able to get there, listen to it again and again, or YouTube, whatever, and then pick up the pieces we missed. So imagine the impact of the second belief that became a knowing. It is no longer that I believe I'm connected, I know I'm connected. It became. Now the third level is very interesting also, and you all are aware of that. The third level was, okay, knowing this and knowing the second step and the first step, now what is my behavior to the world? How am I going to respond to everything? And then compassion came up. Compassion. Now, not the compassion that we think. So to me, compassion meant that you can forgive yourself, you can forgive others. It's being ruthless, sharp, alert, aware. So it's like a mother sometimes who needs to give medicine to a child to cure them of a disease. You can be ruthless and harsh and strong and angry to change something for the higher good. Compassion is not that, oh, live and let be, and just, that is the wrong meaning of compassion. We have not understood, right? If we are in a world of duality, we need to be alert. We need to take action right away of situations. You're going to have to be strong. You're going to have to maybe stand against crowds, stand against different opinions, right? To have the boldness to be able to speak, to voice, this is a compassionate act. So when we look at Buddha's compassion, how we understood it, what he may have said are two different. When you look at the compassionate one is the ruthless one who knows the truth. And in situation to situation, they can act differently to get the impact they need. They can change their behavior to act to get results. For all of us, not just me personally, right? So it's very simple things. Whatever I do, I call it a built-in justice system. If I feel that a thought, a feeling, a habit, intention will destroy someone, not just that, it's going to destroy humanity, because falsehood is really amazing how quickly we can spread false stories, false information, and, in this world of information, it doesn't take long, We've got a strong media that can broadcast anything. So it's not just me living, my legacies, all the women behind me, all humanity behind me, how would they appreciate the legacy I created or not? Was I an asset or not, or a liability to humanity? So I have to be compassionate. I have to be strong. I have to be alert. I have to be awake. So enlightenment is not a privilege. Right from birth, we should actually be taught to be aware and alert and awake. It's mandatory for life. We can't wait till old ages to start to meditate, right? Because you won't have the energy or the intellect. The intellect won't be sharp, right? So this is 2017. Unless we are awake, unless we are living situation to situation, never mind moment to moment, situation to situation, we will be guided differently. If we can't change according to the situation, we have totally ousted ourselves. We've in the old world, because those philosophies, those doctrines will not work. Even your meditation techniques have to be sharp and very alert. You don't go to sleep in your meditation. You actually become alert. So what gives you the power? How can you meditate? And how can you go in? And then what is the best technique or the meditation? with which you can develop the inner powers and bring them to the surface. And be alert, awake, as I said, and conscious. So you have the power to change beliefs. You have the power to not to believe. You can convert beliefs into knowings and dump the rest of the beliefs because you don't need them in your psyche. Right? So that's the fine power, fine-tuned power we are looking for. And we will now go into meditation. It's guided. And we will repeat a sound to magnify the energy somewhere. I'll tell you which one. We will get there. So back has to be straight, shoulders have to be back, alert. You're not going to check out, not go to sleep. This is not for rest. Linda's wide awake.
Yeah. I can do it for 15 minutes.
Yeah. Okay. And just so before we start the place, I want you guys to find and focus. It's not hard to do. Don't try too hard. It's just so if you draw a line from one ear to another and from here to here, somewhere in the center. So 2 inches behind the eyes somewhere. Just focus on that. Yeah. And don't try hard. You'll just fall into, it's a seat of consciousness. You'll fall into that and we'll work through the brain and the heart. Okay, so let's close our eyes very gently, like just petals of a flower, very soft. Features are soft, lips, eyes, face, muscles. Great. Nice smile on the face. It's gateway to your own heavens. Become fully aware you are present here today with me. There's only one purpose for you to join me. That is to become totally, completely alive, alert, awake, conscious. So draw an imaginary line from one ear to the other and the third eye to the back and place your focus right in the middle. You can create, almost visualize, beautiful blue drop. So you can, this imaginary object there in the center, so you know where to focus. And I want you to now move your attention to the heart. So if for the few seconds you need to touch your heart, you can with your right hand. I want you to breathe from the heart, rhythmic breathing. That means equal exhale, inhale. Soft, gentle breathing, very smooth and buttery. So in a minute, your breath will become very light. Hold your focus on the heart. If your attention moves, very gently bring it back to the heart. Ease the body. Relax into your body. Fit your skin. It's very comfortable. Be in your skin. We are going to repeat a sound. I will do it first, then we will do 3 rounds together. This is simply to magnify the energy force and deepen your concentration. So listen to me, join me on the second one, and after that we will do 3 together. Let's do it together. Great. This one softly. To the heart. Come back to the head space again, as if you're in that dome. Locate yourself where the blue drop was. Focus just on that space, the seat of consciousness. All situations, all that happens to you, all people that come into your life are there for your benefit. Even when you don't understand, you don't think so. The knowing that you have attracted them in your life for your benefit, so you could grow and develop. No need to be fearful or scared or shy away from situations. They're perfect as they are. Meditate, go within, deal with them head on. You are connected to everything, everyone, nature, humanity, this world, many worlds. Nothing is strange for you. This is your home. Whatever you do impacts everything. Your greatest freedom lies in taking the most responsibility for yourself. You are the compassionate one. Your behavior, attitude, beliefs could change as per your situation. There is no judgment. Be whatever you need to be for absolute compassion. Healing comes with compassion. Give yourself permission to be whatever you need to be to deal with the situation the best way, with awareness. That is compassion. Allow your entire body to be filled with rainbow light, starting from the head, left side of the brain, right side of the brain, rainbow light equally both sides of the brain. You can experience this light physically coming down through the head into the face, the neck, and the entire body. Body is balanced. Body is light, grounded in this light. This will give you the power of discretion, power to choose, power to will, power to change. Let us magnify this rainbow force. 3 rounds, the same sound as before. One more. Back to the heart. 5 minutes, more minutes of silence. 100% focus on the heart, body filled in rainbow light. Take a nice deep breath. Send this rainbow light to the children of the world. Let there be no child without a smile. Let the children be protected, be sheltered, be loved, be guided. All humanity be guided, alert, awake. Send this light to animal life, plant life, sea life, the entire planet, and everything else out there, all those unseen worlds and galaxies. Nice deep breath, rub your hands, and 3 times you can touch yourself head to toe. Just be fully present, fully grounded. Okay. What is the time?
8:20.
Oh, okay. So we'll just do 5 minutes and we'll close in 5 minutes. We've gone a little over time. So how does everyone feel? How was the meditation? Yeah? Yeah, how was it? It's your first time, so. Yeah? Yeah. So it's very important to understand what we're doing in life. If you can't comprehend it and if you can't get to the knowing part, then we suffer. And we have all basically inherited suffering, and we've learned to manage suffering. We haven't done that well as humanity. We have just learned more techniques to manage. We have more medicines to manage our mind now. And whether it's all these healing systems were developed because we're not healed. That's why we have to keep developing systems, right? So, but we can free ourselves actually of disease. And it's just these 3 simple truths that are so simple, and really factual, but you will not know that they're truths, they're facts, till you have gone in and started to use them in everyday living. So maybe it's a reminder first, because nobody maybe told you this clearly or explained to you or whatever that was. So you're going to have to incorporate them. And the best way to do is at night when you do your meditation, you actually repeat these 3 things to yourself. Write down, go back to the Facebook, write down what you need to repeat it. Now go to sleep in that state, because now it'll work for you. It'll start to attract the dreams that you need. And and then you can, in the daytime, again remind yourself. So maybe write them down also, tag somewhere. Every time you start to blame yourself, blame, regret, all of that when that happens, your old habits your old habits are based on belief systems. You don't have habits otherwise. Yeah. We can adapt to any different habit, but because they're founded on belief systems, your entire nature is based on belief systems.
They're not even belief systems that we actually even chose to accept.
Yeah.
Just
you didn't. Like, look, your name was given to you. How many of you felt free to change that name? Right? Oh, there's enough in this audience. No wonder you're here. I changed my name. But how many people you just blindly believe that is your name? Maybe it was your mother's cat or her favorite person. She wanted to call you that. Like, how do you know where that came from? Like, look at the belief system. Yet our whole identity is that. We don't even think ever that we could change. Such a basic thing, right? So we actually don't think we have the power to change what is basic, which is wrong. The basics are not belief systems. The what is truthful, what is always within you, is your powers to comprehend, powers for rationale, abilities and skills, inbuilt skills for your hardware. How does the human body work? So brilliantly. It's got a whole system. It's not learned behavior. It's intricate system, a mechanism, dynamic mechanism that keeps you alive. That is the truth I'm talking about, that level of intelligence. So you don't need to feed this body with useless food, right? So you have to question the foods, which is the habits of the mind.
Food is at the door.
Yeah, and the food is at the door. We will close here. We'll see you next Thursday. Namaste. Thank you all there. If you liked what I have said, the meditations, please share them. This could make you, put you in a superpower position and plentiful, and you can have abundance in your life right now when you make that first change. So let us do it for each other. Thank you. Yeah.